I wonder who they are. I wonder what's their story.
Samuel Johns went beyond wondering. He created the Forget Me Not Facebook page in June to make sure the homeless are not forgotten.
I wanna go home.
The power of social media not only gives those who experience homelessness a voice, but inspires acts of kindness every day.
From the town of Anchorage, I think about my home.
Sponsorship for Frontiers with Rhonda McBride is provided by Kupik Corporation and Spenard Builders Supply. Alaska, where there are old triumphs, but also new frontiers, with challenges as great as the state itself, but a belief the best is yet to come, bringing you the faces, the places, and the spirit of the last frontier. This is Frontiers with Rhonda McBride.
Welcome to what we like to call a follow-up Frontiers, where we look back on a subject that we visited earlier in the year. And this fall, we ran a program on one of Alaska's most challenging frontiers, helping homeless alcoholics reclaim their lives. We introduced you to Samuel Johns, an Alaska Native rap artist who started the Forget Me Not movement on Facebook to give the homeless a voice.
Forget me not, even if I'm over here sleeping on the block.
Samuel Johns raps towards his friend Andre Black wrote.
That was good. That was good. That was
A tie-in to the Forget Me Not Facebook page.
Forget me not.
God was handing blessings out. My family must have got left out, cause mom and dad killed at an early age. Liquor led my uncle to an early grave.
A story straight from the streets of Anchorage.
It's a good feeling when you know you're empowering people that don't really have a voice, especially the homeless community. We need to express our unconditional love for people.
Even if they're hard to love.
When you pull up, your main focus is over here. It's not behind you, you know?
When Samuel Johns shops at Walmart, he checks on the homeless.
I remember you, Harry. Do you remember me?
Like some of the
Yeah.
others hanging out in the back of the parking lot, Harry is drunk
See? You want to take a picture of that?
and determined to show us his artificial eye.
How did you lose your eye?
Oh, I like to fight.
Harry doesn't see himself as homeless, but instead a fisherman who happens to be hungry.
Can you buy some food?
Yeah, I can't give you money, but I can definitely buy you some food.
It's a good thing Walmart is a quick place to buy food, because sometimes the homeless move on before Samuel can bring them their food. But Harry and his wife are waiting.
Well, thank you, Harry.
Hey.
I got your information, and you said your message was to just pray for your kids.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, well, I'll do that, man, and I will pray for your kids.
Started this in June, and we're close to almost 9,000 members.
Who would have thought? Facebook putting a face on homelessness.
You see a lot of family members posting pictures of their loved ones here.
Strangers on the streets of Anchorage, yet still somebody's brother, somebody's mother. And from the post here, you can tell somebody's worried.
So this is Robert from Nome, and his message back to his family is, I hope your dreams come true.
A few, with help from Forget Me Not, have found their way home. Johnny was one of the first Samuel helped to reunite with his family.
If you look at his messages, it just says, happiness is a gift of life, God bless.
Samuel asked Emily to volunteer to manage Forget Me Not as a nonprofit so people can contribute if they want.
He made a post asking for an Inupiaq drum
To be given to Beans Cafe so clients could connect to their culture. The very next day, a drum was donated.
He really inspired me to lead with my heart and just be a better person today than I was yesterday.
Emily hopes the Facebook page reaches not only hearts, but also minds.
Why is there more than 75% of the population Alaska Native, the homeless population? And inspiring other people to ask those questions.
What's your name? Samuel.
There's hurt there, and when you have intergenerational trauma, you need to have intergenerational healing.
I'm actually going to try and have a place for the homeless people to come and do cultural events together.
Samuel believes in the power of culture and caring.
Like this one saying that I always tell my daughter, even if you're broke, you can always give hope.
Give her some too.
That's why random acts of kindness are so important.
That smells amazing.
A surprise gift of salmon strips from a man who told us he doesn't do Facebook, so he never heard of the Forget-Me-Not project.
There was this guy, he asked me for money, and it was like 10:30 in the morning, and he was drunk.
Yeah.
And it was down the road that way a ways. And I said, no, I don't have any money, but I have something better. Come with me. And so
It's very inspirational. Seeing a non-native pull up out of the blue and give dried fish to some homeless Alaska natives. And seeing that happen, you know what, it gave me chills.
Samuel Johns believes this is God's reassurance that he's on the right path and that he's not alone.
All right, cool, man.
This picture wound up on Forget-Me-Not to inspire others to find their own way to give. So how did all of this get started? At Beans Cafe, the beat of the drum connects to the beat of the heart. And as Samuel shared his music, he realized he's not all that different from those here.
I wasted a lot of years just drinking a lot, you know, not really doing much with my life.
A memorial service for his grandfather, Harry John Sr., a revered Otna chief, was a wake-up call.
It wasn't like an ordinary eulogy, you know? It was like a adventure. It was like a really cool adventure. And I felt like kind of ashamed.
Forget-Me-Not.
Yeah, exactly.
But today, Samuel Johns is on an adventure he can be proud of. Brooklyn, Samuel's baby, had a lot to do with it. Normally, he travels a lot, but before her birth, he took a break from his work and wanted a project close to home to fill the void. And so, a Facebook page was born.
I don't want to be people applauding to me and saying, Sam, you're doing a great job. I want people to say, Sam, I'm here to help you. I'd rather have this than this. You know what I mean?
Forget me not.
The sound engineer says he likes projects that take him out of his comfort zone.
Grateful when it's hot, though I'm here when it's not, though I don't gotta lie.
And the message, whatever the medium, asks us to do the same.
Forget me not, even if I'm over here sleeping on the block.
Well, still ahead, Samuel Johns, the founder of the Forget-Me-Not movement, will join us, along with Crystalyn Lemieux, who teamed up with Johns and others to help those on the streets find their way home.
I wanna go home.
And we'll hear more about Archie Swan, as well as others whose stories are being brought home on the Forget-Me-Not page.
I wanna go home.
The Alaska Native Tribal Health Consortium provides comprehensive health services for Alaska Native and American Indian people across our state. In addition to world-class care at the Alaska Native Medical Center, our work delivers health services for rural Alaska. From cutting-edge technology for the best care possible, to modern construction of clean water systems and health clinics, to health training and outreach that honors our culture, our vision is that Alaska Native people are the healthiest people in the world.
At Spenard Builder Supply, we know it takes a lot of ingredients to get it just right. That's why we have design centers in every store to personalize the most important rooms in your home. We'll help you select cabinets, faucets, and appliances that fit your style. So all you have to worry about is how much oregano goes in Mom's pasta sauce. Spenard Builder Supply. Building for life.
Now offering financing with no payments or interest for 12 months. Visit our design experts today at your local Spenard Builder Supply.
With injury claims, the only purpose of the insurance adjuster is to help the insurance company pay as little as possible. The purpose of the Banker Law Group is to represent real people to help them present real claims about real injuries and get fair results. I always tell people, I hope you never need us, but if you do, we'll be here.
The Banker Law Group, the law firm you need the moment you need it. Learn more at bankerlaw.com.
Congratulations to KTVA 11 News, winners of 9 Goldie Awards from the Alaska Broadcasters Association. KTVA is there when news happens. From this summer's devastating Sockeye Fire to investigative research, honored for groundbreaking coverage of Alaska sports. From Seward to Nome, delivered by Alaska's finest sportscaster. And recognized for creating new frontiers, KTVA 11 News is there when news happens. Be there.
There are many success stories on the Forget Me Not Facebook group. Archie Swan is an example. With help from the group, Archie was able to fly back to his village in time for the holidays.
I wanna go home to a native home by the country seat.
Archie wrote this song that he calls I Wanna Go Home. He says he sings it from his heart instead of from his lips. And Archie is one of those who found his way home with help from the Forget Me Not movement. And joining us now, Samuel Johns, who started Forget Me Not with basically a cell phone and a caring heart, as well as Crystalyn Lemieux, who knows firsthand what it's like to have a family member on the streets, and you become a member of the board. And Crystalyn, I just wanted to ask you how it was that you got involved in the very beginning of the Forget Me Not movement.
What inspired me was when I first watched the video and just seeing that the culture is helping the people that live on the streets.
One of the videos that played on the Facebook page of the, was it the drummers?
Yes, and just seeing that like the culture is health also, and just I've had close family members who lived on the street, and so it's a little more personal than just seeing people live out their culture again.
Can you talk about that?
My dad was homeless, and so sometimes I think about all the people that helped him and supported him so that he could survive, and so this is my way of giving back and thanking the people that did help him.
And what other relatives in your family have experienced homelessness?
I did have a grandfather who had lived on the streets, and so it's also just like in our culture you have to give back, and so this is a way for me to like live out my values.
So this is intergenerational homelessness. You know, how common is that?
There's been a lot of traumatic events that had happened in the past, and luckily my mom had made the decision to not smoke or drink, and so I was just blessed with a good, like dealt a good hand. And so I know that others are not as blessed, and so I also recognize that too.
So, Sam, what makes you the happiest about starting this Facebook page?
Just, you know, just seeing so many good people that are willing to, you know, help out complete strangers.
And you started out, you know, with just a few messages, and now it's blown up to what, 15,000?
Yeah.
What does that tell you?
Just shows me that there's a lot of people out there that want to, you know, make a difference. You know, that want to bring a lot of positive changes.
Well, Crystalyn, what do you think is different about the Forget Me Not page that seems to bring out this outpouring of generosity?
I think that one of the differences is when Samuel Johns goes and talks to younger people. He's just like talks from the heart, and he's really genuine, and just sort of like wakes you up and like has you remember just like culturally that we do support one another and we give back, and just inspires you to support a group of people that maybe you might not normally feel comfortable helping. And so it's sort of like a bridge.
And let's talk about some of the people that Forget Me Not has been a bridge to, starting with Archie, since we've featured him. What a singer.
Yeah, Archie's a really good singer, and you know, I really enjoyed, you know, helping him out. You know, he's a really good guy, He's very, very optimistic, and you know, I was just really, really happy to help him out.
So what did it take to get him home to his community? What did you have to do?
Just, you know, sharing the photos and letting people know that I was getting him back home was pretty much it. You know, people reached out to me and said, "Hey, how can I help?" And people, you know, just complete strangers, like I said, helped cover the costs. You know, and you know,
How about with Terry?
Terry,
we've got a photo of Terry right here. She was one of the first people that you met in this project.
Yeah, it was with Terry. You know, me and a good friend Rachel Titus from Minto, we put our miles together and we got her a ticket home, and that was it. It was very simple, and I'm very happy that she's with her sister now. You know, she's changing her life around. You know, and she looks very, very healthy.
I know it's like night and day, and yet, you know, perhaps she might have been on the street for many, many years. And so maybe you interrupted a cycle there. What is it that you hope to accomplish? Now you have a board and 15,000 members, and anybody can join, right? You don't have to have anything special. You can just click on there. What do you hope to do with this membership base?
Oh, you asking me?
Well, either one of you.
Yeah, well, you know, one of the things, you know, well, it changed, you know, my whole goal for it. You know, when it first started, you know, it was all based off of my encounter with Terry. But then now I see a bigger picture, and how we're a group of 15,000 people that are like eliminating class racism, you know, where people look down on someone just because of where they're at in their life, you know, and I think that it's very important for us to reflect on that, on how, you know, I get people telling me all the time their encounters with the homeless community, and it's very inspiring to know that, you know, we created this platform where people feel good about helping someone out that needs it the most. So yeah, it just feels good.
Crystalyn, you know, you've got this campaign now for sweatshirts. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
We do have sweatshirts for sale, and if you message the Facebook group, we can get you a sweatshirt and get you connected with that if you want to speak more about the design. And
Christina Fields was the one that created. She's from Kotzebue. Her name is Christina Fields. She's the one that designed the logo for us, and you know, we have them in 3 different colors. Oh, we had them in 3 different colors. I think we only have black now. But as soon as we get rid of the ones that we have on hand, we'll be able to sell online most of the sweaters.
And so these are what, to help people get home or in whatever way they need?
Yeah. It's actually our first fundraiser that we actually did, and you know, we needed help covering the costs to transfer miles over to one another. It costs a lot to transfer. Some people want to transfer like a lot of miles, and you know, we'd be able to do that, you know, with our, you know, with the funding that we have, and you know.
So Crystalyn, is it gratifying, you know, when people come forward and do things?
I think it's really inspiring. Sometimes I'm impressed by how much people are willing to give and support one another, and I just hope it continues and that there's more younger and younger people stepping up.
Well, that's interesting that you mentioned the younger people. It seems like they have embraced Forget-Me-Not. Can you tell us why you think that may be?
I think that a lot of young people are just waiting for someone to wake them up and to remind them of who they are and how important it is to support one another and give back. And I think Samuel Johns does a really good job at inspiring people to help out, because he's so genuine, and it's just, I guess I just don't see that too often.
And of course, Samuel, some of it is your own story of your struggles with alcohol. Now, I understand that you've been taking that message out to the village.
Yeah, you know, I really think that, you know, since I'm sober, you know, since, you know, I was able to, you know, give my family an alcohol-free home, a drug and alcohol-free home, I think it would be good for me to go out and, you know, talk to the youth about that and reflect on the importance of that. So that.
Well, you were just invited out of the blue to go to the Upper Kuskokwim. I mean, these kind of things are happening all the time as a result of this Facebook page.
Oh, I've been doing some traveling since January. I've been traveling around a lot since January, and it's been a real blessing, you know. And you know, just going from villages, you know, just to talk to the youth about you know, just making a difference in your community and stuff like that. You know, it's a you know, to me it's a gift, you know, to travel around, you know, and I really appreciate it, you know, and going to the Kuskokwim, you know, to Akiak, to Luksak, and Akachuk, you know, Mike Williams is the one that got me out there, and
he's a well-known sobriety leader, tribal leader.
And I got to learn a lot about that guy. That guy's amazing. You know, he's a really, you know, it's like when Luke went and hung out with Yoda for a while. That's how I felt. Yeah, it was really cool.
Well, it seems like the one thing about this project is one good thing brings another. And just before we run out of time, Crystalyn, we have an opportunity to do something to help. And what do you recommend we do if we want to reach out to the homeless?
During the last event at the turkey meet and greet, a little bit back, a lot of people had asked me for deodorant, which I was surprised. I wasn't expecting that. So if there are hygiene products that people are able to donate, that might be really helpful and something that maybe people forget to donate.
And the turkey meet and greet was an event after Thanksgiving where you gave out sandwiches for people who may not have been aware of that. Well, I want to thank both of you for joining us and sharing a little bit about this Forget Me Not movement, and we'll carry on our conversation on the web in a web extra. So thank you so much. Coming up, well, he may be just a little guy, but he has big ideas on how to help those in need.
We have a story of 27 families that put 18 months of their lives into building a village, a home for themselves and their future. Our Inupiaq culture goes back thousands of years, carried by a strong sense of community. Our relationship with our natural surroundings is at the heart of our culture. By investing in future generations through development that is balanced with the love of our land, the Kupi Corporation brings together traditions of the past with visions of the future.
People of my generation didn't talk about this sort of thing. And what most of us are learning is that we need to.
Those who are suicidal feel alone. Let them know they're not. Ask how they're doing. Check in every day.
The only wrong thing to say is really to say nothing at all.
You could save a life. No experience necessary. For support, go to stopsuicidalaska.org.
There's an old saying, everybody complains about the weather, though nobody does anything about it. Well, you can't blame a guy for trying. We know you can't change the weather, but you can change the way you look at it. And while you can study all the models you want, eventually, you're gonna have to go outside. Carlos Fora and KTVA 11 weather. Be there.
Normally, it's the adults who set the example for children, but we want you to meet a little boy who has plenty to teach us all. KTVA's Sierra Starks and photojournalist Rick Riso spent some time with Patrick, who shared some lessons on kindness and compassion.
This is nice.
But we have to put them right now. Okay. Because the things, they're not for you.
Patrick is only 3 years old.
You have a house.
but he has the heart of a giant. You can find proof under his family's Christmas tree.
Some more stuff?
Socks, coats, blankets, hats. But Patrick says none of these gifts are for him.
It's for all the people, and they don't have homes, and they're very cold.
Patrick's mom says her son overheard her talking to someone about the homeless population.
So he asked me, Mama, did you say there are people who don't have houses? And I said, yeah, you know, sometimes some people just don't have homes. And so he had some questions like, well, where do they sleep at night then?
3
years old.
McClung says when Patrick heard that some of our community's homeless have to sleep outside, he cried.
I want to
It really hurt his heart to kind of realize that there are people who go without.
But those tears quickly dried up when Patrick learned he could help the homeless. He and his mom made signs and set up boxes around town asking people to donate to their cause. He's even been spending his own money.
Me and Jonathan traded. I gave him my train, and he gave me money.
$20 for his beloved train, and he spent it all on the ones who need it the most.
I need you to put all the socks in their own special pile, okay?
Patrick's mom says we can all learn a lot from her son's passion project.
I think the big thing is you don't have to be 3 to make a difference.
She says just start with what moves your heart. For Frontiers, I'm Sierra Starks.
Well, if a 3-year-old can find a way to make the world a better place, well, I guess there's hope for the rest of us. And before we leave you, just one reminder, if you're interested in getting one of those wonderful Forget-Me-Not sweatshirts, all you have to do is go to the Facebook page, Forget-Me-Not, and you can find out all about that. They're $45, and the proceeds go to a very good cause. Well, this is a good note to leave you on for this edition of Frontiers. Thank you for joining us this week as we explored the frontiers of the heart. From all of us at KTVA, have a safe and happy holiday, and we'll see you next week.
In the winter time, it's always cold and blowing like everything. And the friendly people come around and say, how are you? I'm fine. Anyways, I wanna go home. I wanna go home. Yes, I wanna go home. To a native home by the country sea. I wanna go home. Yes, I wanna go home. Oh, how I wanna go home. I wanna go home. I wanna go home. Oh yes.